guys, welcome to video 3 of making this little amigurumi fox with his little pom-pom tail. If you haven't seen videos parts 1 and parts 2, then I'll put the links in the description below so you can follow all from the very beginning. In this video I'm just going to be finishing up. I'm going to be showing how to just sew on the nose and the mouth and make his pom-pom tail. You don't need a pom-pom maker either. So we're just going to finish up. We're going to get a little bit of black yarn that we've been using for the rest of the body, so take a length of that, cut that down, get yourself a yarn needle, and the first thing we're going to do is his nose, so keep this turning that way. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is his little nose, so we're just going to mark out where it's going to be first. So I'm just going to bring in, I know it seems a bit crazy, but I'm just going to bring the black in from the side. I'm going to bring it out through the center of his nose. Okay, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail there which we can sew in at the end. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to sew up to the side there. So I'm just going to go over to about there, and I'm going to come over about a stitch the other side as well, not too much. I'm just going to guide that into place about an angle, okay, and then I'm going to bring that down to the middle, and then basically I'm just going to colour it in the middle. So I'm going to go back in for the centre, it's a nice big hole, which is good, and come up just to the left of where that last stitch was. Okay, starting to lose daylight a little bit now. Too many tail ends, and then guide that into place as that comes down, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to go back down to the middle into that center hole, and we're just going to come up to the right of the other side, and then we're going to guide that into place as well. Okay, and do the same thing again until the whole area is coloured in. So go back to the middle, just come up to the left there. So there we go, that's his little nose sewn in, and now we're just going to create his little smile. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go up to the middle, and we're just going to come down a bit lower than where that one came out. The reason for that is we're then just going to pull that down slightly just to give him a little smile, and we're going to sew down and over. Actually, you can come back out the middle. There we go, and that gives it a little curvy smile. And we'll do the same for the other side as well. So I want to go up to about there, and come down a bit lower. Make sure it catches above the yarn. And just sew in. Then we're going to come out somewhere here and then just hide your tail ends. And there we go. So there is his little smile either side and his little nose. So I'm just going to hide these tail ends, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to do the pom-pom tail. Okay, so there is our semi-finished little foxy. He's just needing his bushy tail. So we're going to create a couple of pom-poms now for his tail. And they need to be quite small pom-poms. You can use small pom-pom makers if you want, or you can use the technique that I did. And we're going to get our white yarn again and our red yarn. So let's do the red one first. And all we're going to do is going to get our fingers, leave them out of the way, and we're just going to wrap the yarn round these 3 fingers. You can also use a large fork if you wanted to, and we're just going to keep wrapping this round. So just keep wrapping this round so you've got a nice amount of yarn on your fingers. And make sure you don't cut off your blood supply when you do this. Might be worth getting an adult to do it if you're young, or using a fork instead. Okay. So that's probably a good amount. Okay, so about that much. It's a nice amount. Then we're just going to trim that at the top. And then we're going to take a length of yarn of the same colour, and if you can, take out your middle finger without taking out the other 2. Okay, so leave those 2 in. Okay, like that. And we're going to feed that piece of yarn through your fingers all the way around the back. And we're going to tie this around the middle for both sides. Okay, so it's not going for the middle there, it's going all the way around the edge. And we're going to tie this in a knot, which is easier said than done when it's using one of your fingers, one of your hands. And you've got a camera in front of you. So if you've got someone to help you, that's always good. And then we're going to pull really, really tight, and then you can let go. Okay, and then keep pulling that really, really tight. Then put your finger down. This is important. This is what will stop it coming undone. Put it really nice and tight. So you need a yarn that's not going to fray. And put your finger on the knot. Nice tight knot. And then do a double knot on top of that. Okay, so that holds that in place. Okay, so you want it nice and tight so it's not going to undo. Then we're going to do a knot the other side. So we're going to take that around the other side. And do the same the other side. Do a nice tight knot. Hold it with a finger. And do another knot on top. Okay. Okay, so then I'll trim that down to match. I'm going to keep this length for sewing onto the body. Then what we're going to do is, just like a normal pom-pom, we're going to trim all these loops. As neatly as we can. Try not to trim through the yarn that you cut, because if that's not tight enough, it shouldn't be the same height as these. Okay, so it should be all the way down there nice and tight. That might be the reason why some pom-poms come undone, is you haven't done it tight enough. So I think that's all the loops. Okay, so once you've got all the loops, fluff up your little pom-pom, and if it hasn't collapsed at this point, you're good to go. And what we're going to do is we're going to create another one of these, but in white, and then we're going to join them together. So I'm going to go away and make another one of these in white, and then I shall come back. Okay, so I've repeated that and made a white one, and what we're going to do now is we're going to join these together. So I'm going to take, let's take the maroon colour, and we're going to get our yarn needle. So take our yarn needle, and what we're going to do, so the trick to getting this to stay together is making it tight and not cutting through the yarn that you've tied it with. So that's key. We're going to feed this through the middle, okay, as best as you can. Okay, pull nice and tight so these become one, and then just sew over a bit to the other side, and then we're going to come down all the way down the middle of the red one. Okay, so, and you may want to do that just one more time. Just go back up through the middle. Try not to get too much caught at the bottom. Then come back down to the bottom again. Making a pom-pom caterpillar, and then making sure you don't cut that yarn because we'll need that for connecting to the fox. I'm going to trim this white one down, and then we're just going to trim it into shape a little bit to make it more fluffy. You want to create more of a pointy top. And just be careful at this stage. Again, you don't want to cut too close to the middle. So when you make that initial knot, you need to make sure it's in the middle of all your fibres, not near the edge. Okay. So I'm going to do this. We're going to trim this down into a shape, and then we're going to join it to the fox. Okay, so when this is looking a little bit bushier, we're going to take the bit we've still got connected there, and we're going to sew it onto our body of our little fox. And we're going to do it on the back, and we're just going to do it about in the middle. Okay, we don't want it too near the bottom, so it's going to be more on his back. Okay, and we're just going to position that nicely, and then we're going to sew to the pom-pom, pull nice and tight. It's nice and secure. Then we're just going to secure that a couple of times by coming back onto the body. Okay, come through. On the inside, don't want to pull his belly too much. I'll probably get rid of this tail end now. That's an old tail end. And I'm probably just going to do that one more time. And there we go. And then all that's left to do is I'll trim that down, that tail end. And there he is, he's almost done. And what we're going to do, careful not to cut his feet, but again we're just going to trim this pom-pom into shape. And there we are, he's all done. So I've just trimmed that down a little bit more, just shaped it a little bit. And there he is, he's all done. He's got a little pom-pom tail, and he can go with his other little friend. And there we go, that's how you crochet my little Amigurumi fox with his pom-pom tail. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, hope you've managed to follow along, and if you found this a little bit fast, then do check out some of my slower, more beginner videos. I can't speak after I've been filming for so long, and then coming back to these sorts of videos. But I will put the written version of this on my website soon, and yeah, I'll see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Yip yap. Yip yap.